Welcome to Wise Move, where we dive into real estate, real life, and real wisdom. I'm your host, Meredith Buckland, a top realtor in the greater Atlanta area with over 12 years of experience. I have had the privilege to help hundreds of clients navigate their moves successfully while gaining a wealth of wisdom along the way. As Einstein said, wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. So join me as I connect with clients, colleagues, and industry experts to discuss market trends, share valuable advice, along with real-life stories that can help make every move a wise move. Welcome back to Wise Move. Today I'm joined by Evan Roberts. He is the founder of Visually Sold Real Estate Media back in 2016. And Evan includes titles such as a Christ follower, husband, and father of two as some of his strongest characteristics. And so I am so excited to have this conversation with you, Evan, not just only as a colleague in this industry, but as a business founder and as someone who is strengthening their family as well along the way. And you started this as a small local operation. Now you have grown into a creative team that shoots around 4,000 real estate listings a year, which is phenomenal. So I really want to dive into this today, just about that thriving business and the helping other agents like myself, and then also keeping faith, family, and purpose at the very core of your journey. So welcome to the podcast, Evan.
Thank you so much for having me, Meredith. I'm excited to talk more, and it's been a pleasure working with you over the years. I'm excited to talk.
Yeah, it'll be good. Now we're reversed roles. I was in the hot seat before, and you had all the questions, and that final question that really stumped me over everything, my one word, I think it was, I don't even know if it was a purpose or why, but I was a deer in the headlight then. So now we're back switching roles. And I really wanted to take this time just to introduce our listeners to Visually Sold if they haven't heard about it, and start back at what inspired you even to start this company.
Yeah, great question. So Visually Sold is a real estate media company. We do photos, videos, 3D tours, anything visual that you need to market a property, to sell or to rent or to Airbnb. We do it. We have photographers all around Metro Atlanta, and we sort of pride ourselves on consistency. So consistency of service and consistency of quality. And that's our primary aim. And so originally what inspired me to start it was my dad. My dad's been in real estate my whole life, whether it was managing foreclosures back when I was really young. He never really did too much of the sort of listing side of things, but he was sort of inactive. I was managing a pizza store, delivering pizzas, and I was always into photography, into creative things. I played music when I was a teenager, and just anything sort of that had a creative side I was interested in. So video, photos, music. And he texted me one day. I was like, have you thought about doing real estate photography for listings for sale? This was back in 2015, and I was like, no, I didn't even know that was a thing. So I would look, on Zillow and realize, okay, so some of these houses have really good pictures and some of them don't. And why doesn't every house have great photos? Like, shouldn't every house have great photos? So I started doing a lot of free work on the side while I was managing the shop. I built a website on my lunch breaks and called a bunch of real estate agents until somebody let me do one for free, and it turned out that it worked out well, and they referred me to more agents, and I sort of grew it from there. And after that, I kind of had the idea of what is the Uber of real estate media? What is the, who is the company for that? Like, why isn't there a single go-to for that? And so I said, well, why can't I build that? Why can't that be something I do? So that was sort of the North Star of, creating the simplest solution for real estate media. And that was sort of the impetus of it.
Yeah, but it's such a great beginning into this. And certainly your dad just asking that question, like, why don't you do this, and shifting your focus. And that impact now has been huge. And it has really revolutionized in some ways the way that you're able to offer photography at a better level, a better platform. And there should be no excuse for any agent out there not to have phenomenal photographs. Maybe back years ago, we didn't have these options, but now we do. And you certainly have been key into that. Was there a particular moment, Evan, where you went, okay, Visually Sold is going to take off?
Was there a single moment? I don't think so. I think I always kind of saw the end. I worked with the end in mind, and the end being to just be the name in the industry. And I don't know, we're still not there, but always working with that goal in mind with every little decision that we made. And I don't think there was a single moment where it was just like, okay, like this is going to be huge. It was just like, okay, let's plod along day by day and just do our best every day to work towards that goal.
Yeah. It's a lot of pressure being a business owner. No one else is going to do that work that you do and bear that pressure and that load that you do. And you do have to be, even as the markets change, resilient and adaptable and figuring out how can I do things better, and kind of competition against yourself almost. Like, I've done this, but now how can I improve on this? And that is evident with the fact that you are shooting 4,000 listings a year, which is an enormous amount from where you started. But were there particular systems or habits that maybe you as a business owner put in place that have helped you to scale to that level?
It's a really good question. I think I don't know if it's the main thing, but the sort of ethos that we make every decision based on is with the client in mind. So putting myself in the client's shoes, if I were the agent, which I'm not an agent, but if I was, and I was looking for photo shoots, and what are the things I would expect? What are some headaches that I have dealt with before that I want to avoid? I think keeping the client's experience first is probably one of the biggest factor in that, because a lot of our growth is just word of mouth. We don't do heavy marketing. We don't do email campaigns. Every once in a while we'll send one, but we don't have a sort of active drip campaign for emails to try to keep people coming back or anything. What we are relying on is our word of mouth. Did we do a good job this time to earn the business again? And just every time, did we do a good job this time? Did we do enough this time to earn their business again? We have to work every single time to make sure that they come back. So I think starting with the client's experience in mind first, and keeping that a priority and their satisfaction as number one is a big factor in the scale there. That's what keeps people coming back. Because if you're reliable and you're competitive price-wise, there's no reason for somebody to use somebody else if they're happy. And if something does arise where we did make a mistake, what do we do to fix it? Do we stand by the quality that we deliver? Do we have our reputation on the line for every photo that we deliver? So I think that's a big one.
Yeah, and I think that is probably what helps you maintain that quality and consistency with this high volume of work, because you're always focused on the client experience and creating such a great experience that the quality is going to keep improving and their experience is going to improve and they're going to come back. And both of us as business owners, we're similar in the fact that most of my business as well has been almost 100% referral. There's more that I can do and at times market and do otherwise, but sometimes we're just so busy in that repeat business or what they bring to it, and that we're able to keep honing in on how to make it better. And then in turn, that client, they not only have to come back, they have to tell somebody else, and they become our best advocates. And like, you have to use Visually Sold. And it has certainly been true for me with your company. I talk about you guys all the time. I was on a podcast the other day and I'm dropping your name because I'm like, I have one of the best photography groups, Visually Sold. because I really believe that, because you guys have delivered to me such a great client experience that you've set me apart as an agent time after time in that. So yeah, I am a recipient of that focus where you have given such a great experience that you're going to get my business repeated, and you're going to get me as your biggest advocate out there, or one of your biggest advocates out there, saying you have to use Visually Sold. So you're definitely putting out your quality and standing behind it. And I love that about your company.
That's awesome. That's great to hear.
Yeah, it's been great. And I shared this story before on your podcast, and I've shared it with you time and time again when we talk. But for those out there who are listening who don't know how I found Visually Sold, I had it from another agent. They said, hey, I've used Visually Sold and you should use them too. And I was in transitions with a photography group. And so I used you guys, and you showed up at the door. You were actually the one that did the photo shoot, and sharp presentation, great communication. And it happened to be the listing that then I got called on and thought it was an agent wanting to see the home. And instead it was HGTV. And they saw your photos, your listing photos. And it resonated out of hundreds of listings in our area for them to want to feature it on their show and $1 Million Lottery with David Bromstead. And I was in disbelief, number one, that they were calling me. But when I thought back through the process and everything else, it was very much because I had made that call to you. You had shown up, you had done a phenomenal job. Your pictures, they just pop online. They're sharp, they're clean. The angles are accurate. It just captured that home so well. It set you apart over every other group out there, every other listing out there. My clients then not only got their home sold, they also got featured on a great show that they were in love with. So will that happen with every photo shoot? No. But it did happen, and it speaks volumes of the quality of work that you did. And it was able to help me be a successful advocate for my client in presenting them in the best light. That first impression shot resonated not just in Georgia, but all the way to headquarters at HGTV. So from there, I was definitely a believer in your product, and just really appreciated the effort that you put into it to show up in such a strong way that you helped set me apart as an agent with my clients. So it was a big win.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. I think setting yourself apart from other agents, that is, when I said that, we keep our clients' experience at the forefront, what we also care a lot about is our client's reputation. So I tell our team all the time, like, when you're at a photo shoot and you're meeting the homeowners there, you are representing not only us, not only Visually Sold, but you're also representing Meredith. Like, you're also representing the real estate agent that hired us to go. Because who you decide to work with, the companies that you decide to work with and rely on, says a lot about you. We're there representing you. We want to bolster your reputation and your brand as an agent to win you that referral from them.
Yeah.
Right. So we're a part of that process. Are they going to refer you because of what we did? No, it's because of who you are. It's because of the work that you do. But if you send a company out there that, is unreliable, or somebody that, doesn't know what they're doing, or they have a bad experience, that doesn't look great on you either. The client experience is number one. And then alongside that is the client's brand, like your reputation too. So I think that's definitely true.
Yeah, that is very true and powerful, because I think when agents get into this, they are bringing trusted resources with lending and with maybe a mechanic or an HVAC or plumbing or the title closing attorney. They're bringing a lot of resources to the table. And as those resources come, if they can't be trusted, if, hey, I used your lender and he didn't do a great job, and the guy you suggested to repair my house messed up, if all of these don't really speak to the level of quality that they should expect and get, it will impact your business. And your group, really, from the time they come to the property until they leave, and everything that's delivered after there, just speaks to that and helping me to become a really solid, trusted resource. My clients will call me and they'll say, we met Evan or we met his team and they were so polite. We loved them, because you're walking into someone else's home. And there's got to be that respect of the property that you're stepping into to photograph. And from the minute they enter, they're well labeled with their branded shirts, and they're clearly identified as, we are part of Visually Sold. We're safe to enter your property. We're putting on shoe covers. We're being respectful with equipment. If we're switching something around or doing something on the property, we're respectful of it. And then taking the time for all the preparation that a client has put into getting their home ready for photos, if they have, hopefully they have, it's capturing it, right? It's doing it such a good job that, hey, sorry, I didn't have it on the right setting. I walked away and didn't get photos of this. Well, that can happen.
Yeah.
If that is the lack of quality or consistency, that they're paying attention to detail, it's not going to be a good fit for that agent who wants to succeed. So your group, you can definitely tell when they show up, they are there to be a great advocate with you, partner with you as an agent, and then give a great client experience and really respect that seller's property and their home and that whole hour to 2 hours of that process. So definitely have a
and that's a testament to having good people. That's like, y'all team, if y'all are watching this, I'll probably send it to y'all, but it's because of you guys. It's because y'all are doing awesome work. It's not me, it's not, any individual, it's us as a team. All of the work that we do together and all of the processes that we have and stick to, all of that makes the difference.
Yeah.
So
it does. It's in the details, and it does matter. And it's that consistent approach to being a steward of the business that you have started and been given. And each of them as representatives of that. Together, you're collectively making Visually Sold either stronger or weaker by how you show up. So I love, though, that I have not had a bad experience with your group. I love that every time they show up, my sellers are calling saying, great group, love them, never had any complaints, never had any issues. If I try to be there at the photo shoots to help guide, stay out of the way, hopefully I'm not in the picture, but even if I were not able to be there, I have full confidence if your crew had to show up, they're going to get the right angles. Everything about it is going to be a fantastic experience, both for that seller then and then afterwards when I get the product. I cannot wait to get the product back and send it back to the sellers, because every single time they fall in love with their home again. They see in that moment it's been captured and all their hard work and investment, and it's beautiful. They almost don't want to sell it. Literally, they'll say to me, I love my home. And it's a gift. It's really a gift. And sometimes I've done a cinematic video, not just to be a good marketing, but almost as a keepsake for that client to have, because it just evokes all of that emotion about that property and their home and every memory that they've built in there.
Yeah, man, I wish I had that like for my house that I grew up in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would just be so cool to have, to be able to go back and look at that.
Yeah. I watch my clients' cinematic ones that I have done, and the music and the movement of the home, and it makes me emotional because I remember all the effort they put into it. But it's captivating to watch, and it's certainly, that is a fantastic product that I think more agents should consider, is in that cinematic type approach, because it evokes an emotion that I think resonates with so many people, and the light and the movement of the home and all of that. It's a beautiful imagery that can be really powerful for marketing, and then also for the seller to have as a keepsake. So
totally, it's
putting
good
a plug
for both
out there, but agents should consider it. Evan, if you're trying to convince an agent to do marketing and to visual marketing, the importance of it, what do you wish that more of us agents, hopefully I've got it, but other agents would understand about visual marketing?
Yeah, I would say that the number one thing is it's not just about selling the house. Visual marketing is not just about getting the listing to close. It's about building your reputation and your brand. It's just as much about that. I've heard people say, I could just take photos with my phone. The house is going to sell. If it finds the right buyer, it's going to sell. And that may be the case. but then you're the real estate agent that takes photos with their phone. Like it's such a reflection on your brand. You know, your sellers are trusting you as a professional to do everything that you need to do to get it sold and to honor their house, like you said, with the cinematic video or whatever it is. Visual marketing is not just about marketing the property itself, but it's also about branding yourself and marketing yourself to get more referrals in the future. So that's what I would say. It's vital.
It is. And it's not just about setting a false mirage that you are some reality, non-reality superstar. It is really about showing that you're, number one, a professional. Number two, that you're excellent, right? You're excellent in all of the areas, and it's in the details. It's from an agent, it's obviously in their education, in the contracts, and how we approach it in the communication. But this area is so important because you're asking this client, this seller, to trust you to market their home in a big way. And it costs them a lot of money, right? It costs them a lot, and they have invested a lot. So what are they going to get for that? And if you show up with your cell phone and you're snapping pictures and you put it online, shame on you, because that's where 80% or more of your buyers are going to see your property, see that seller's property for the very first time. And that's where so many of them are going to make a decision to even book an appointment to come further and see that property. And if you have said, I will be your advocate, trust me with your property, and that is your approach, then right out of the gate, you're missing it. It's a very important step there, because you should, in every area, be giving them more than their return. They should be seeing this above and beyond if you're being a wise steward of their home and of what they've asked you to do. And it's such an honor, isn't it? When we get asked by someone to do business with them, but certainly when we get asked by someone to take care of their investment, personally take care of it. And we get to come to that and show them we have an obligation to be a wise steward of that. And these are the key areas, showing up and giving them what they deserve and what we would want for someone to do to our property. So it does. It sets you apart as a professional, but it also shows that you truly respect their investment and you want the best for it and want to showcase that. So
I mean, for most people, it's the most expensive and valuable thing they'll ever buy and sell in their lifetime.
Yeah.
So it's not something to take lightly. It's not something to shoot photos with your cell phone of.
Yeah, it's not. And I'll take clients through homes and they'll talk often about, I almost didn't come to see this home because all I saw was the cluttered closets or toys everywhere, or the photos weren't very good. I didn't think this was the home for me. And as an agent, I've seen enough homes that sometimes I'll say, hey, trust me on this. Let's go look at it. But wow, when you don't have to do that. You know how many times, Evan, that another agent has even called me and said, when I got to the property, it looked like your photos. It was fantastic. That resonated. That was truth and action. And that was, this is what you're going to get when you get here. And it's going to be amazing, because it looks amazing online. It's amazing in person. Like, usually I have found that the photos look amazing, and it was even better in person. So it was a very true reflection of that property. It wasn't the reverse, like, wow, they were really creative with that photography because this place is a dump, or this place isn't as big as it was. So
I think that's always the danger is being, we never want to mislead anybody or present something in a way that it's not accurate or not truthful.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a big important. I mean, I feel like sometimes I'll tell people what I do and they're like, oh yeah, like it's, you take those super wide angle photos and it makes the room look a mile long, and we get there and it's not. But that's not something we do. We use accurate lenses with a focal length that makes sense for the room, that's not going to make it look larger than it is, and then shooting techniques too that capture a room in as accurate a way as possible. I mean, obviously, cameras can't capture what our eyes see. I mean, our field of view is crazy, and you're trying to portray it on a two-dimensional screen.
Right.
So it's going to feel different when you're there in 3D space, when you're actually there and you're using all five senses to experience the room. It's going to be different. But to get it as accurate as possible in a two-dimensional screen, without being misleading and without missing things. That's the aim, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think one thing it's really good about your entire experience, if I can share as an agent that has used you and other agents can expect, is you are so well processed that even from the time of, if I book online, I have a great portal to do that. I book online, I select what I want. Instantly, there's emails that are full of information about how to prepare for that and how to position that seller in the best light for that. I can send it on to my seller. Now have this great video, have great instructions to go along with what we've talked about. So that filming day is successful all around. So that seller is ready and that agent has made sure that they're ready because there's been good processes and good communication coming from visually sold to the agent to the seller. And then when you guys show up, you're able to do your job. We're able to get top quality pictures and footage of that property, get it quickly online. Your delivery turnaround is fantastic. And so being able to quickly in 24 hours, relatively speaking, to have those photos back, get that listing live, that's an amazing ability for an agent to quickly get then that listing and their seller to the market in a more powerful and efficient way. So I love the whole system that you have in place. It makes it super easy for an agent to use your whole process and really get their seller to success on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Efficiency is key. Speed is key. Something I tell our photographers too is when you're on site at the photo shoot, there's a big difference, maybe not in the outcome, but in the perception between rushing and being efficient, right? I want them to be as efficient as they can be on site, but I don't want them to rush through things. We never want to seem like we're just sprinting through to try to get a task done, but we want to be efficient, right? We want to respect the time of the homeowners. We want to respect your time, all of the effort that's gone into preparing the listing, and respect all of that and make sure that everything's delivered on time because of that. But yeah, I think being efficient in all of those processes is what makes the difference.
Yeah, it's an entire package. And Evan, I'm going to step over to a question shortly about all the different things that you can offer to agents and all the different tools that we can do within that. But I want to circle back within all of this because in the beginning, how I described you and how your bio that you sent over, you started with very important details. And within that, it wasn't Evan, the successful owner of, or Evan, whatever person. You sent over your first word of your bio, if I can share again, was Christ follower, husband, father, and then business owner. Your priorities, Evan, from a worldview are maybe set up different than others would have. But it's very critical to understand at all of the base of this business and the stewardship of this business is an owner who has aligned priorities that start with Christ, and then as the husband, and then as the father, and then as the business owner. So if you can just share, Evan, your kind of bio and why that is important to you and what difference that has made in your life and in your business. I would love that conversation.
Yeah, well, it hasn't always been. And that's, the reason I sent that bio in that order is because, that's who I am in that priority, right? So in that order. But it hasn't always been like that. When I started the company, I was agnostic, atheist, totally just doing it for my own ego. I built the company up to, I had 33 employees. We were in 7 states, and I was doing it all to make myself look good and to feel good about myself. I had dropped out of high school, so I hadn't really succeeded in a lot of things. And so that I had to do it for myself, for my ego. And along the way, I discovered, and after many failures and seeing that leads to just suffering and disappointment, and I'll never be able to do enough to fulfill that burning ego desire. I'll never be able to get everything I need to satisfy that. Realizing that was a pivotal moment, and the business almost failed at one point because of that, because I had so much overhead, so many employees that I had sort of told myself, the larger my team is, the more successful I am. Look, I'm 24 and I have 33 employees. Like, I did it. Meanwhile, in the background, I was taking out loans to make payroll and wasn't able to cash flow it. And that's just the downfall of man right there, is that pride, that ego. And I met my wife through work, and she was a believer, I was not, and I started going to church with her, and the Lord saved me at that church, baptized there. And it sort of changed from there. It was obviously it's a process of sanctification, but from that point on, I realized more and more that I had a new desire to not do this for me. I'm doing this to glorify God, everything that I do, every decision that I make, and to serve others. Like, I don't want this to be for me anymore. I want this to be to serve. How can I serve others by doing this? How can I glorify God? How can I be his hands and feet here on earth in the decisions that I make? That was a big change. And culturally, it doesn't, we don't have Bible verses on our core values on the company. We don't have it's not an overtly Christian company, but it is definitely, somebody I really like reading said, theology comes out your fingertips. So what you believe about the world, your theology comes out through your fingertips, through what you do, through your actions, those fruits. So I think the way that I choose to run things now, and the way that the Lord has used me to run this business, is more and more in that vein. And the decisions that I make, the way that I handle problems, the way that I handle our mistakes, owning up to those mistakes, and making it right, or asking for forgiveness for those mistakes. Things like that. That's really what's changed a whole lot since the beginning, other than my actual heart. Other than the entire change of heart. But yeah.
I am so thankful that you have been able to share that part of your journey, because it's the most important part. You can gain the whole world and lose your soul. And most of us all of us do enter into life with our own will, our own nature, our own pride, our own sense of entitlement and worth. But yet we have a God who loved us so much. He created us, and he loved us, and he sent his son. And for those of us who have come to that acknowledgement that he is our only hope and our only way, our only truth, our only light. And when we come to that acknowledgement and we surrender to him, and then every part of our life is surrendered to him, it's such a different perspective as a Christ follower, as a husband or wife, as a son, daughter, as father, all of that. And then certainly as a business owner, how do we conduct and live accordingly? And that's the same purpose when I come to my business. I was in a ministry aspect before, and serving in a school and helping with families full time that were in a private Christian school. And I felt at the time when it was the need to shift to real estate, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to be full time in a ministry capacity. And then understanding that everything we do as a believer is an opportunity to minister. And certainly real estate was one of those for me, where I have a front row seat to make decisions that will instantly help my clients, or maybe help someone who is going into a missional work or full-time service capacity. And I can help that. So I've always said, this is your business, Lord, and I will continue to operate it in such a way that brings glory to your name. And as long as you allow me to do this business, then I will try to be a wise steward of that. And even this podcast, Wise Move, it came out of the fact that when I'm in transactions, even with people, and I believe that my main source of truth is from him, then I tell clients, I don't know all the answers. I don't have everything down. This is not just some amazing realtor that's just stepped in here with all the answers, but I know someone who does have the answers. And when James says, if you lack wisdom, let him ask of God. He gives it liberally. I know that I have this abundant source of wisdom that is available to me that I can ask, and I can say, Lord, I don't know how to navigate this situation. I don't know what to do in negotiation on this or this and trying to determine truth or how do I conduct. And he gives that wisdom as we ask for it. So that thus, even with Wise Move, was just, yeah, we make decisions in life, but all of it should come back to him. And it should start in that order that you said in your bio. First Christ, and then how it resonates to others, and then down as a business owner. So I love that,
Yeah.
Evan. I love to be able to share that as a brother in Christ and as a business owner, and just in the way that we can exalt and honor God in our business, and that everything we do, whether we have a verse on our branding or otherwise, that people know that we're different. There's something different about us. There's something different about our business. There's something different overall, and it points them back to Christ and brings him the glory, to him and through him and for him, all things.
Yes.
So
yes. Amen.
love it.
Amen.
So love that you have that approach. And I didn't want to fail to mention that and let that be, because that lays the groundwork then of why you do business and how you do business and just your approach to it. And it's very vital and important.
Absolutely.
So thanks for sharing that.
Everything.
So tell me a little bit about your family. I know that's a big aspect of your life and where they are in your business and how you guys work together.
Awesome. Well, I have my wife and I have a 3-year-old and a 7-month-old. Levi is our son. He's 3. Lila is 7 months. She just turned 7 months just a couple weeks ago. So Alex we're blessed enough for her to be able to be at home full time raising the kids. That was something that we wanted to work towards for a while. For a while, she was helping us a lot with our marketing, running our social media, and coordinating events and things like this. And a big goal of ours was to have her full-time mom. That is your vocation. And we wanted her to fully commit to that. So we're blessed that that's the case now. That's what she does. And she supports me in everything that I do. I'm only able to do everything first because the Lord gives those opportunities to me and has given us those opportunities, but also because Alex is doing what she's doing at home and raising the kids. And yeah, it is a blessing to be able to have that.
Yeah, she's your business partner. And you couldn't do your job as efficiently every day at Visually Sold if she wasn't in the background supporting and helping, and then investing one-on-one with your most important investments, which are your children. Right. And such a gift. Right. And as a mom, I was able to stay home years ago with mine. Not everyone can always make every exact decision like that, but it was important to me, and I was able to do that. We were able to prioritize that for my family, and I have no regrets stepping into kind of a working environment later and being able to focus on them and really pour into them and help just that time with them, because it's so short. It's so short, Evan. I have 2 grandkids, and I don't know how I got here, but I should have started with grandkids first sometimes, I say, but life went so fast, and now I have the gift of looking at them and seeing my children in them, and it's a beautiful gift back that you get to have, but it goes fast, and so you want to take opportunities to lay that groundwork. I'm glad for her support for your business. I know it helps you to do better work and all that you do with that.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I want to segue as we're concluding our time and just let you take a few moments to share to agents out there who are considering using you. What all are the products? What all are the things that they can use to help market their business? And how can Visually Sold support all of us as agents?
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, as I said at the beginning, anything visual that you need to market a listing, that's what we do. So whether that's photos, videos, we do Zillow 3D tours now. That's becoming, the Zillow Showcase is becoming a thing now. We do Zillow tours as well. Drone, all of our photographers do drone photography as well. And we recently introduced a really cool feature that I'm very excited about, which is pay at close. So the way that, obviously, real estate agents know this, but the way that it works is you do all of this work. There's so much money to put up front. whether it's staging, it's painting, it's whatever it is, storage that you're helping your clients with in visual media. We've partnered with a company called Titus, who allows agents to book the photo shoot through our portal, and the payment for that shoot for as little as 0%. So it could just be free money, essentially. Not really, obviously you have to pay it back, but will come out at closing. So if you don't owe anything until you sell the house. Now, of course, if the house doesn't sell or the listing goes off the market, you still have to pay it. But if you have good credit, it's as little as 0%, which is super cool. I'm very excited about that. That was a big hurdle for some agents, especially newer agents, to be able to invest, hundreds of dollars into visual marketing, even though they thought, like, this listing needs it. I want to be able to do this, but it's just so much money to put up front. We're very excited to offer that opportunity. So that is new. We've also recently decreased our pricing and increased our quality, which is like, okay, sounds like too good to be true there. But we used to have two sets of editing styles. So we had a basic editing, which was just good HDR real estate media, photography. And then we had enhanced editing, which would include fire and fireplaces. It would make the TV screens pure black, so there wasn't a bunch of reflections on them. The color and lighting was more accurate. The windows looked better, and it was a lot more expensive to get the enhanced editing. But we've been able to change our systems in the back end and keep our costs the same, so that we're able to offer that enhanced editing for the same price now as basic photo editing. So now, we're always looking for ways to improve our quality and improve our product, and that's something that I'm excited about. Recently that we changed is we're just much more competitive now pricing wise, and it just kind of makes it a no-brainer. Now, I get everybody has their preferred photographer. Some people have their preferred photographer and they're not wanting to leave them, but if they're ever out of town on vacation or can't make something, we'd love to give it a shot and see what we could do for you. So yeah, whether it's photos, videos, 3D tours, drone work, floor plans, and we'll even write listing descriptions for you. Only sometimes using AI to assist with that. Usually it's handwritten actually by my wife. Alex does still write listing descriptions when we get those, but she just loves writing. She's a creative writer, but they're usually just written by her. And whether it's whatever it is, we're ready to help with that.
Yeah, I didn't know that about her creative writing skills. That's pretty impressive. I was thinking it was just AI generated and all of that, but that's even, I don't know, more special, more customized. So I love that approach. And I just want to say again, too, that any agent out there, like you said, you may have a photographer, but going to your portal, being able to have quickly every day on the calendar available to you with time slots during the day is so valuable. I've had photographers in the past who were limited to certain hours or certain days. And when you have a listing that needs to get up quickly, you really need to have that flexibility of good photographers available. So being able to book it, being able to pick a huge selection of options within that, you are going to set your clients apart. And the photography is just hands down the best I've encountered. It's true, it's reflective of the property. And I think you're going to see a difference when you switch over and use a company like Visually Sold. And the communication process, the quality of work, all of it is excellent. And it's really being run in such a responsible manner and approach by you, Evan, and your team, and the stewardship that you put into it. So hands down, I can't commend you guys and advocate for you enough. I am a big believer in you guys, and always happy when I get a listing and I can go out there and book it and get you guys out on site. So thank you for the work that you're doing and for the approach that you're taking and being a wise steward, and for what you've done for my business personally. I'm grateful.
Yeah, really is my pleasure. I mean, I very much enjoy doing it, and I love seeing results and the fruit of it. I do really have to give a huge shout out to Caroline and Katie in the office, just holding things down. I mean, Caroline's my sister. She's been working for me for 8 years now. And she was the first person that I hired when she was in college. I'd set her up an iMac in her dorm room and would train her on the phone while I was driving to shoots. And she's just super wicked smart and just on top of everything logistically, holds everything down. We could not do what we do without her. And Katie is just such a blessing too. She's a recent addition about a year ago to the team, and she assists Caroline with communication. And Katie does some things that Caroline does not do. She'll do feedback calls just to see how the shoot went. She holds down all of the confirmation calls the day before the shoot just to make sure everything is still good to go. Last minute check in, make sure we're still on pace to do it tomorrow in case we need to reschedule to save you the fee of canceling last minute if we can. And then any questions that they have before the shoot, she's fantastic. Her communication's great. Our clients love Katie. So yeah, I had to give a. We've been talking about the photographers, but I had to give a shout out to the.
Yeah. Oh, they are. Yeah, they are fantastic. Every time they always keep me on track too, and they'll be good at checking in, and we're on track. Or if I have a problem or we need last minute changes, they're so easy to communicate with. So hands down, everyone that is a part of Visually Sold is just really bringing such value and making it just a better place. And I love that I have your access and that company accessible to me. And I'm looking forward to, as you add even more, if you start doing websites and start adding on any other details, I'm all game for it. So sky's the limit. I would love for you to share, Evan, where can people find you and get in touch with you?
Awesome. So me personally, I try to stay off social media if I can, but you can go to visuallysold.com or just type in vs.photos in your browser to go right to the website if you want to check us out. As for me, if you want to reach out to me, if you have any questions for me, anything like that, evan@visuallysold.com is my email address. So feel free to reach out. I'm happy to chat.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing your time today and for just letting us see in the back view of all the things that you have going on at Visually Sold, and then really just the foundation of your life and the encouragement and focus of that as well. So thank you, Evan, for opening up your business moment and your life moment for us to share.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Hope we get to do it again.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to Wise Move. I hope today's episode provided you with the tools and insights you need to confidently navigate your real estate, community, and life journey. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and please share this podcast with friends and family who are making their own moves. Stay connected for more real estate insights, and remember, every great move starts with a wise move.